Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be reviewing The Witch's Tears by Katharine and Elizabeth Corr. Let me just start off by saying that I enjoyed this book even more than The Witch's Kiss because it was less repetitive, it introduced more characters, more elements to the story, and overall it was just less dull. More events happened and left me reeling for more. The Witch's Tears is a sequel of The Witch's Kiss and it takes place right after the entire ordeal that happened in The Witch's Kiss, and you can see that both Mary and Leo are still dealing with their losses. Meanwhile, Mary is also busy learning how to become a proper witch. She's learning witchcraft, she's studying it, practicing it in order to become an integral part of the coven. Meanwhile, Leo is just mainly falling down the deep dark pit of his feelings. And Mary desperately wants to save him, she really tries to connect to him, desperately tries to keep him together, but to no avail. And besides that, Mary's witchcraft isn't really coming along the way you'd want it to, she wants it to, the coven wants it to. So all of these things are happening, and then suddenly we get some new characters, one of which saves Leo from a small ordeal, which I'm not going to get into, and they end up talking with each other, so he has a new friend. And another character comes into the story as well, and he hangs out with Mary some more, so we have more characters, basically more interaction, more story. And so they all go on their merry way. See what I did there? We see a little bit more of Mary in this book. We see her going to fencing a couple of times. We see her going to the gym and having a jog, personal things like that. We see her going out with her friends, dealing with things that seem abysmal compared to the main plot. We see her really frustrated at the best of times. Her grief just gets in the way of her everyday tasks. It gets in the way of her witchcraft. As we can see in certain points of the story, feelings just get the best of her. And she just feels alone because she has no one to talk to about the witchcraft and everything. Certain points even in the story, it just feels like the coven rejects or doesn't accept Mary. Basically, in the book, she does some tricky things, does help the coven along the way, but the way she did those things, it was not proper, it was not okay. They got mad at her because of that, resulting in Mary feeling even more like an outsider. And like I said, her witchcraft just isn't coming along the way she wants it to and the coven wants it to. Her emotions get in the way. For example, a couple of times in the book, she's busy working on witchcraft and everything is okay, everything goes well, until these swirling thoughts of feelings in her head, and they make their way to the surface, and then everything just goes kablooey. Over to Leo. I think in this book, Leo has even less point of view than the last book, which is fine by me, because Leo is an integral part of Mary's life anyway, so we see a lot of him anyway. We can see that Leo has another way of dealing with his feelings. Mary really wants to connect with Leo and wants to be there for him, but Leo really keeps it all to himself, and I can really relate to that actually. He just doesn't want her help, he just keeps more to himself, he doesn't want to talk about it, and he doesn't want Mary to make a fuss about every little thing that he does, that he wants to do. But I think it's very touching of Mary because she really wants to know how he's doing, she wants to be there for him. I think that's very touching, but he just doesn't want it at that moment. He sinks deeper and deeper into the black abyss that is emotions and feelings. Like I mentioned before, there are also new characters making their way into this story, which I really adore. They all have something to do with the story. They're not just there because the authors wanted them to be there to fill up holes and stuff. No, they're there for a reason. And I quite liked them. First of all, there's Ronan. He actually saved Leo from a certain situation. It's not that big of a deal. But, and they end up just being friends and talking and stuff, and we can see that Mary wants to be there for Leo, but Leo doesn't want Mary's help. Instead, he just goes off to Ronan. And we also have another character called Finn. I think he's still a bit of a mystery. He really tends to go to Mary more, and Mary's a bit reluctant at that. She's like, why, mate, why? It's just very interesting to have all these new characters in their lives. I'm not going to spoil anymore because that will be spoiling the plot twists and turns, but they all have their own parts to play in this story, which is great, which is what this story really needed because it adds more elements, it has more depth to the story. One thing that I am going to mention though is that during the story certain things happen that are a bit odd and mysterious, and then there's these new characters. A bit convenient, huh? Because of this, because of the timing and the way that it get described, it's just, you can't help but wonder, are these two persons to be trusted? Because we don't know that much about them. You don't know. That's what I loved about this story, because of the timing that they get introduced and the things that are going on in the story, which I'm not going to mention. It's just great because it really gets you on the edge of your seat. As for the writing style, what I personally loved about this book and also the previous book is the writing style. It has a lot of dialogue and well-constructed thoughts and feelings, but not too many and not too much added on. Not every action gets described into complete detail, not every environment gets described, which leaves a lot of space for you to just imagine. Imagine your own world, imagine your own surroundings. That's for you to decide actually inside your head. It's not like nothing gets described, but only, you know, the things that are of importance. And I quite like that because it really makes for a quick read, and I love quick reads. So, summarize, The Witch's Tears is an amazing second book in a series that really leaves you reeling for more. It introduces some new characters, they give the story more depth. Plot itself is also very interesting, things happen along the way that are very fast-paced and well done. The story doesn't have too many plot twists, but just enough to keep you on the edge of your seat. Just enough for you to fully enjoy the story, and god damn, I need the sequel right now. Oh my god. Really. Plot itself, in my opinion, was better constructed. The story had more elements. It fit together perfectly. I really enjoyed it, so I definitely recommend it. If you have read The Witch's Kiss, then definitely read this. Even if you were like, I don't know, just read it, because this one, in my opinion, is way better. Yeah. And if you haven't read The Witch's Kiss, go check it out, because it was pretty amazing in my opinion. It had a lot of mixed reviews, but I personally loved it. So yeah. So that was my review of The Witch's Tears. I gave this book a 4 stars out of 5. I'll link the Goodreads page link down below. Yay! So I hope you enjoyed. If you want to see more reviews, you know what to do. Subscribe. So bye bye.